Hi everyone, welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and a build update of the AMT Plymouth 71 Duster 340 kit. I got a lot done. I've been having a lot of fun with this. Chandler and Zach and Lee have been busting their tails getting this engine put in. Duke's gone through about 1,000 rolls of film too, by the way. Anyhow, let's start this up. Today, really the past 2 days, I've gotten my distributor wired. I think that looks pretty darn good. I used semigloss for the wires, and I did not dirty them up. I didn't dirty the distributor up or the carb, because I figured if this kid's got this thing and he's going to start with something, at least he's going to rebuild and replace what he can afford right off the rip. And I would tear that carburetor apart before I do anything else on here, just to get the car going. New points, condenser in the distributor, a new coil under here. The coil line runs up and around the top. I got the vacuum advance running around it in. We also have the choke line run. PCVs on both sides. This one runs around. This one comes up and goes underneath the air cleaner. Let me show you what I did to the air cleaner, why we're talking about it. I got the decal on, and once it was set, I came in with this and I just kind of scratched at it and popped off some of the decal, because I figured this car, it's going to be a little beat. I got to weather it, but it'll be good. Got the radiator in, and I'm telling you, all the years of playing Operation paid for getting that lower water line in there. It took me about 15 minutes to get it to where it laid in there nice, but it's in there. The alternator, I wanted to twist it around just a little bit more, but it locked into the belt without any glue. I was just test fitting it, and it was too late. It's stuck. So that's where it's going to be. I got to just deal with that. I wanted just a little bit more of a turn on it. So the top, the exhaust headers are in. They're looking real good. I got just a little bit of touching up to do with them, and they'll be ready for it. Now let's flip this bad boy over, because I did get a bunch done under here too. Da-da-da-da. Our exhaust lines, our exhaust pipes are in. Rear axle and drive shaft is in. And you can see I got my lines run. I wanted to do a video on running these lines, but it would have been like an hour and 40-minute video of the back of my head. So let me just talk you through it here. I drilled a hole in the gas tank, and I started from there. And I went down and across, up, and I just ran it down over top of this, because that's probably going to have a hole drilled in it, but there's no way. I went over the top, and you see me bump out. This bracket has a divot in it that looked like it would be perfect for that line to run in there. So I dropped it in there and came up and into the frame. And now the last thing I got to do is I got to come from here and drop it down to where the master cylinder will be on the firewall. And that'll pretty much wrap that up. The next thing I did is I ran my emergency brake line. And I know it's not right down here. This would be one line running down and a bracket and another bracket and then split off of that. But this is a good representation of at least the emergency brake. It comes up and goes into where the brake would be. It'll come up and around. Then we got the brake line. I came up and around, and I probably should have done the brake line first and ran the emergency brake over the top of it, but hindsight's 50-50, and that emergency brake line was glued in tight. So I'm going over the top of it. Then I came down. Again, I came up over the top of this, run it down, around, and then I came down onto the top of the axle, where I have another line run and a fitting here so that it goes to both rear ends, and we'll be good. Both rear ends, both brakes on here. Once I get the wheels put on, I'll be able to cut those, shorten them, and just put them into place. there won't be any gluing or anything because this holds its shape really well. You can see that. You know, it doesn't take much to move, and it stays where you ask it to go. So I did that. The mufflers went down on top of those brake lines really nice. I didn't have any problem whatsoever them dropping in. The only thing I do wish is that this would have been stretched forward a little bit, and if I pulled it forward, it would have dropped down out of the way, and it wouldn't have looked right. So I just have a little bit of extra coming off of the exhaust where the clamped right at the edge instead of all the way down close like this one would be. So there's the exhaust or axle. Let me tell you about how this model's fitting right now. These two shocks aren't glued in. They're just pressure fit in. I dropped this one down, brought it around, pulled up just a smidge and slid that on, let go, and it's tight. Did the same thing with that one, and they're not going anywhere. So that's really nice. And it looks like it's lined up this way and level on the ground, so I won't be teeter-tottering. So let me get that out of the way. We'll move those out. Duke's just hanging out today. So let's bring in the body again. Now, I put the stripe on here, and then I was told, hey, that's not right. With that, the hood would have to be black. Well, I'm good for making all kinds of mistakes. So I was like, okay, well, I masked it off and shot it, and I'm really happy with the Tamiya semi-gloss and the way the mask is. It pretty much is the same color. You can't tell where I stop painting and where that thing starts. So I'm happy as snot with that. I left the scoops green because I think that looks frickin' cool. And if it was my car, I would have gone to Western Auto and grabbed some of this paint, and I would have painted those things green and bolted them back on. Because I like the way that looks. It kind of, I don't know, it sets it out a little bit. So there's the hood on the top. Went really well. Underneath it, I used my accent from Color Collections, the acrylic black, real black on it. And what I've found is when you put this on and you just keep on brushing it, and it takes care of most of the brush lines and smooths down real nice, and it dries tight. So there is that, and I wanted that because I wanted it really flat because it's got to get weathered. I'll probably use mostly pastels when I weather that. I won't be doing much dry brushing on it. The pastels, when I go with whites and then the browns and blacks, it'll show off the dirt really well. So we did the hood, and then with the same real black, I did the interior. Got it looking good. And then last on this, and I will let you go, well, second to last. Second to last, I did my wires for my battery. And all I did is on this one, like I said I was going to do, is, let me see if I can keep this in focus. I left this wire here, so this one is now negative. And that's how I figured negative and positive, because I wasn't about to try to paint that red over top of everything. So I drilled into the side on an angle into it this way, and then ran that wire in there and then pushed it flat down, and that'll look good, especially when I push it to get it into place. This one, I drilled the best I could. I had a hard time with it. And then it also is coming down at an angle. I dropped it in, glued it, let it dry, and then I painted that one red. I painted the other one black, and I'm going to call that a win. So the last thing I'll do with you tonight is show you my rims. Now I took these and I painted the whole center except the beauty ring right here. I painted, and the hub, I painted everything else. In the center, titanium silver. I'm gonna reach through here. That's the wrong one. But it's titanium silver. I can't even see it on here right now. Here we go. One more reach. Titanium silver X32. I love this color, and it really is the color I've been looking for months, trying to do these rims, and I've had it here the whole time. So I painted it the titanium silver. I left it dry. I came back with the panel liner and did each one of these, and then I did a drop. I mean, I took most of it off and came in here and touched the center, and I think that highlighted those lug nuts really well. Everything's looking good on them. Both of them, they came out. I'm real happy with it. I really am. So there we go. I will let you go. I appreciate all the thumbs up and the kind words and the comments and the subscriptions. We're over 1,500 subscriptions now, and we're going strong. So let's keep, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and give me a sub. I'd appreciate it. It'll help this channel grow, and I'll be able to do a little bit more, because anything that I make on this channel is going into this channel. So, whoa. Last thing. My stick shift. Rubber black on the bottom, gloss black on the top, and I did chrome silver for the handle, and I'm tickled with that too. But I will let you go. I am Mark. This is Grandpa Mark's Hobbies. Thanks again for everything, and you all have a great day.